All right, this is take 2 of the notes from last week. So this is actually day 2 notes because the other one got messed up. So in November, 2 local malls received the following shipments of shirts. 20 smalls to Mall 1, 18 smalls to Mall 2, da da da. When you read through this is like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with all this information? So instead of writing it this way, I took it and put it in a little box down here and organized it. So I have small, medium, and larges. I have Mall 1 and Mall 2. So I could ask you, how many mediums did Mall 2 get? And you would be able to go right there to 29. Okay, this 29 is called an entry in our matrix. This thing is called a matrix. Okay, it tells us where to go. So if I say Mall 2 mediums, you go to 29, that's an entry. Our dimensions on our matrix, your dimensions always go by the rows, which are this way, and then our columns, which are up and down, like on the front of a house. There's columns, okay? You never use the labels on the outside. So Mall 1 and Mall 2 were just labels. Small, medium, small, and large were just labels. So this matrix is a 2 by 3, okay? All right, so if we look down here at the bottom and just try to figure out the dimensions on this first one, letter A is 1, 2, 3 rows by, so the times is really a by, it just means how many going to the next thing, and then we have 1 column. B, pause me and write down your answer and then unpause. Welcome back. So we have 1, 2, 3 rows and 1, 2 columns. So pause me and do C and D and write down what you think your answers are. And we're back. So now this letter C has 2 rows and 2 columns. We like ones like that because we can't mess them up. Letter D, we have 1, 2, 3 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. Okay? All right. Now, problem number 1 down here says, write a matrix equation to describe the total shipment of each size to each mall during the month of the November-December time period. So what it's asking you to do here is to add the 2 together. So we've got Mall 1, Mall 2. We have 20, 35, 17, 18, 29, 14, and small, medium, large, plus Mall 1, Mall 2 for December. And we have small, medium, and large. We have 11, 28, 14, 17, 27, 12. And since it said an equation, what it wants you to do is add them all up. So Mall 1, Mall 2, how many total small, medium, and large did they have for November and December? So how many smalls? Mall 1 had 20, and then it got 11. So there's 31. Then how many mediums for Mall 1? 35 and 28 is 63. 17 and 14 would be 31. Now we have Mall 2. 18 and 17, and it makes sense because these are in the same spot in the matrix, but they represent the same thing. They're both smalls for Mall 2. So we have 35. 29 and 27, so we have 56. And then 14 and 12, so we have 26. Okay, so we made an entire equation. The first piece plus the second piece, and then equals, and then they're represented. Okay, how does your total matrix compare? It's the same dimensions as the original, and it should, because you're taking the same information. It needs to be there. You need to have a mall and smalls, Mall 1 and mediums, Mall 2 or Mall 1 and large, and then Mall 2, small, medium, small, medium, and large, etc. Okay, so let's add some together. So letter A down here does not have any labels on it. But we can add what's in this first spot, what's in this first spot. Everything always has to match up. Okay, so first spot, 16. Second spot in that row, 12. Third spot. Okay, we get -8. And then last one, we get 4. So that's it. That's your answer. You don't have to make it as colorful and pretty as mine. Just add them together. Okay, so let's do B. So I've got 4 and 6. Uh-oh, I think I'm going to see a problem here. 8 and 12, that's 20. Now -2. It doesn't match up. This one's not possible from up here because they have different dimensions. You can only add and subtract if they're the same dimensions. So not possible, unlike dimensions. Oops. Thought I drew a circle there. It's not what I was trying. Unlike dimensions, period. It's not possible. Okay, letter C. Now we need to subtract. So we're going to subtract each one of our piecewise numbers. So I'm going to write it out for each piece, and then we'll do the work, just so we can see what's happening. So I have 8 minus -4. Then I have, I guess I didn't need it that way. I have -6 minus 7. I'm going to go to the next row, so now I'm going to do this one. So I have 3 minus -2 and 6 minus 6. And then this last one, I have 9 minus 4, and I have 10 minus a -3. If it helps you to write them out, write them out. Okay? Minus a negative is positive, so we get 12. These are both negative in this next one, so this is -13. Then I have minus a negative, that's positive, so I have 5. 6 minus 6 is 0. 9 minus 4 is 5. 10 minus a -3 gives me a positive 13. What must be true in order to, for the number of rows and columns in order to add or subtract? They have to be exactly the same. Okay? Okay, problem 2. Because the inventory was low, the malls received twice the amount of shirts in January as they did in December. So what we want to do is take this one twice. So we can write 11, 28, 14, plus another 11, 28, 14, etc. Okay, we could do that, add them together, and get our total. There's an easier way. It's called scalar multiplication. If you put a number outside of your entire matrix, like that 2, it's kind of like saying distributive property 2 outside of a parenthesis. You're going to distribute that 2 into every single piece. It's the same thing we're going to do here. We're going to distribute that 2 into every single piece, or if you think of up above, you're adding everything twice. But this is a lot nicer way to write it. So instead of going 11 and 11, if I take 2 times 11, I get 22. I do not have the right size box over here. I need one squishier. Okay, so I would have 22, 56, 28, 34, 54, 24. I multiplied every one of them by 2. Okay. All right, so here, let's try one. Multiply every single number by 3. Pause me and come back. Okay, welcome back. So now this would look like -3, 9, 6, 15, -12, -9. I multiplied 3 times every single piece. Okay. This next one, we need to distribute 4 to each piece, 3 to each piece. Then we can get our answer, and then we can subtract them. Okay. Somebody asked me during class, can't I just distribute that negative 3 and then add them? Absolutely. It will give you the same answer. It's just, do you want to subtract them or do you want to add them? So do you want to distribute in just a 3 or do you want to distribute in negative 3? You will get the exact same answer in the end. Okay? So pause me and try just to do this part. Just plug it in. Let's try the purple way. Let's just put 4 and 3 and leave it with a minus. Okay, so if we do that, now hopefully you've done this and you got negative 4, 20, negative 8, and 0. And if you distribute that 3, just the 3, not the negative, you would get 9, negative 6, 3, and negative 12. Okay, distribute the negative 3 and do it this way. This first one is still going to be the same. Pause me for a second and distribute the negative 3, and that way we can turn this into a plus. Okay, you're back. So if I distribute in that negative 3, I'm going to have negative 9. I'm going to have a positive 6. I'm going to have negative 3. And I'm going to have positive 12. Okay, now whether we do the purple or the red, when I take this first piece and this first piece, or if I take this first piece and this first piece, when I subtract those, negative 4 minus 9, or negative 4 plus negative 9, either way I get negative 13. 20 minus a negative 6, minus a negative is positive, or 20 plus 6 is 26. So you see, it doesn't matter which way you do that, whichever way you're more comfortable with, the purple way or the red way, you're going to end up with the same answer. So negative 8 minus 3 is negative 11, or negative 8 plus negative 3, that's an 11. And then 0 minus 12, 0 minus negative 12, or 0 plus 12, you get positive 12. Okay? So those were the instructions I gave. I'm going to delete out that last screencast and put the new one in. Okay? So now you can do homework number, just, sorry, excuse me. My brain had a sneeze in there. Okay, so day 2, homework. That's what you can do now if you hadn't done it and you didn't understand. Thank you.